Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elmani Asvani, and I am the director of the Jersey City Alumni's Kappa League program. I want to thank you for joining us this evening for the 10th annual Jersey City Kappa League College Signing Day. As you see, 2020 has been incredibly unique, and nevertheless, we wanted to find a way and an opportunity to continue to celebrate our graduating seniors. And so this evening, our seniors will be we'll be celebrating them, and they'll be announcing where they'll be going off into college. With that being said, we've decided to do it in a very unique way. In a second, I'm gonna run a video. We've documented the stories of our 5 graduating seniors. And we want you to really listen to their stories, listen to what they've said and what their experiences are. Anyway, I've given more than you need to hear from me. So without further ado, I really do hope you enjoy the Jersey City Kappa League class of 2020. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my name is Elmani Asvani. I am the Jersey City Alumni Guide Write and Kappa League Director, and I would like to welcome each and every one of you for a wonderful evening and experience, the 10th anniversary of the Jersey City Kappa League Virtual College Signing Day. We all know that 2020 has been one of the unique years in all of history, and it has been far more unique for the class of 2020. And so this event tonight is to celebrate our young men by centering around them and allowing them to tell their stories. So tonight we're going to take you on this journey, the journey of the young men such as Ajani Tello, Nnamdi Maple, Elijah Payton, Gentry Robinson, and Marlon Temple. Powerful stories that represent so much of what these young men have gone through to get to their destination, not only to graduate from high school, but to go on to the next level. And how fitting is it, as we begin to open these doors and welcome you in, that this is being taped, everything today, on June 19th and Juneteenth. So this is a powerful event. This is powerful stories. And we welcome you here, and we welcome you to take this journey with us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Thaiko Halley, former Jersey City Kappa League president in class of 2019. During my senior year, just as every other senior, you would anticipate and expect to enjoy your memories at prom, graduation, senior nights, and other senior festivities and events. This year, for the class of 2020, it's been an abnormal and an extremely different environment for all seniors across the world. What you find normally that you expect for prom and graduation, those senior fun nights and activities, has no longer existed for this class. It's changed. It's become completely different in this world and environment that we face. Everything that you planned to have in person, especially for the class of 2020, is now moved to virtual. Virtual graduations, virtual proms, small meetups and gatherings to try to just put in place for what we almost could have had before the coronavirus hit. With that being said, the students of the Jersey City Kappa League who are graduating in the class of 2020 have managed to rise above every obstacle, every challenge, and every obstacle that stood in their way. Even though this year had come with unforeseen and unprecedented times, they managed to rise above and finish out strong. Here are their stories as they share with you exactly how they did it and what their next steps are moving forward.
Well, at the beginning, I was very upset. It felt like all those 12 years of hard work, I wasn't going to be able to see it come through to the end. And I felt like I was missing a lot of opportunity to have fun and spend some time with my friends one last time at student. And I was going to miss that.
It was a struggle. It was a struggle. I will not lie about that one. It was definitely a struggle. It was hard. School is not the same without the teacher being next to you, being in the same room. It's definitely not the same. Instruction isn't the same.
Remote learning for me was kind of easy because most of the stuff that we were doing was stuff that we were already at school doing. Like some of my classes, we would start programs online, so we just kept doing that.
When I found out that I wasn't going to be going back to school in March or May, in March, I was at first a bit curious about how they were going to conduct learning as well as how we're going to interact with the teachers when we need help. And then first weekend, we learned that we're going to be connecting through Zoom and Google Classroom. And at first, I was a bit conflicted about that because I wasn't sure how often we would be using Zoom and how often the students will have problems and have to actually get in touch with the teachers. And
it wasn't really too much of a big situation. I knew at the end of the day, whether this happened or not, I had still a job to do. I still had a plan that I had to, finish. And I took it as it is what it is. And I just kept moving. I was like, I gotta finish this. So.
Well, really, I didn't find out that I wouldn't get to finish the school year until about last month because they were putting off, they would, instead of just saying their school is getting shut down, they would say it got moved to reopening to a different date. So it was just over and over again getting pushed back, and then eventually they were just like, okay, it's closed for good now.
probably talking to teachers and talking to friends because that's how I got most of my information about real world, as well as how I got most of my help throughout education and other stuff.
I don't feel like I've missed out on too much, if I'm being completely honest, because I'm still getting my diploma and my cap. On Monday, I go to my school to get my diploma, my cap and gown and stuff. So that's kind of like a graduation right there. And then next Thursday is when my virtual ceremony is. So really, I don't feel like I missed out on too much of what I would have gotten if none of this had ever happened.
Mainly I felt for my mother because she didn't get a chance to see me walk on stage. For the sisters, were they able to cheer me on, and we wasn't going to be able to have a party afterwards and have a lot of fun.
When I found out at first, I was kind of happy for me because it's freedom. We don't have to do more schoolwork. I could just stay home and chill. And then the realization started hitting me is I'm not gonna have a prom where most people that graduated before me get to experience that, and where I had to stay home and I had to just do classwork online. I had to get accustomed to that because we did it in school. It wasn't really full effect because we still had the atmosphere of just being with classmates. But when it translates to home, it's just you feel it. It's just it's different. It's you gotta just stay on top of it, and it's you gotta get accustomed to it. It's the new norm.
During that time, I just relied on following instructions, being responsible. Before, the 2 weeks before quarantine started, and I was still able to go to school and hang out with my friends and stuff, I made sure I washed my hands and wore sanitizer, and I just pretty much followed what the news and medical professionals said. But then when quarantine finally happened, I just did what they said and stayed at home. Quarantine and COVID hasn't been too bad for me, but fortunately, my family, we had everything we needed to get through it without too many problems. Remote learning wasn't that much because I'm a senior. I don't have that many classes. I don't have that much homework. So it was really just a matter of me finding ways to quell my boredom while I sat at home every day for 2 months.
It means you always gotta check your surroundings, be aware of what's happening, know that at any point, if anything go wrong, you'll be the first person they blame, and always be prepared.
What I think it means to be an African American in America, we have something on our back. I feel as though we walk around in our streets, in our cities, in our communities, and a lot of African Americans think that their communities are theirs. These areas that they live in. The places you go in and out of, the delis you go in and out of, the corner stores. They feel as though that this is their community. This time, this time, it gives you a sense of not knowing. You don't know the next corner, what'll happen or what you're gonna see. Even cops being in the area of your own, especially now, you see cops on corners just sitting around, and I wanna say maybe for a good amount of African Americans, it's a little unsettling. It makes them, it's a little nerve-wracking because you never really know.
As a mother of an African American son, there's this sort of quiet fear that I live with. I wake up with it every morning. Every time my son walks out the door by himself, there's little thought in my mind or prayer that he comes back home alive.
I wasn't too informed, but I felt that things were more than likely going to get better for black men in America, as well as myself, as well as students, because I believe that with the whole rioting and becoming more noticed in society, as well as in education and learning.
What I feel about that is, me as a black man, I feel like I have to move like smarter and I have to move safer. But at the time I'm saying that, it's still like I can't do that at the same time, because there's always gonna be something there, because like innocent people still getting killed and hurt by cops, and like some people saying all cops are bad and some cops are not bad. It's just like right now that's happening in the world, like everything going on with Donald Trump. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like it's mind-boggling. It's just like I had to like focus and see like what it truly is.
I feel a little scared because, you know, all these stories you hear, all the news reports, all the killings, it's just the reality of it is that could be me, that could be my father, that could be my brother, you know, it could happen to any one of us. It's real out here, and it's not really much we can do about it besides just keep fighting and hoping that one day our voices are heard.
I worry about my sons when they step outside the door. Years ago, and I've always told them, you know, watch what you say, always be respectful, don't do this, don't do that. But now it's to a point where kindness and just not knowing anything can happen to them. I don't know if they're gonna come home. I don't know if that's gonna be my last time seeing them when they step outside that door.
You feel sort of like a checklist of ways. There's vulnerability. There's am I prepared to teach these boys how to protect themselves? And 3, how do you occupy their minds with other things than the weight of all of this seriousness?
To see that these people are, you know, planning in our communities, are targeting, you know, African-American men, it's a little unsettling, maybe a little scary.
In this day and age, they're bound to have some interaction with cops. And our job as parents is to make sure that they're prepared to deal with the scenario, and more importantly, to check your attitude.
I don't know if I'm gonna read about my son on the news, or, you know, it's worrying. It bothers me a lot. It shakes my nerves. I'm almost nervous when they're gone, and I'm sitting on pins and needles, and I can't wait until they come back home, even if they're out for a long time. But when I see them, my son survived again. It shouldn't be that way. I shouldn't have to worry to the point where I'm so afraid that they won't come home. But right now, with what we're living in, with the way that the world is going, with the way that the things are, as a black man, it's time for a change.
My biggest fear would be able to be other black people who are in high position and know that you don't have, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you put in the work, you can reach somewhere higher. You can become better than Bill Gates or Steve Jobs.
I feel like the biggest thing out of Cap League that I'm gonna take into adulthood is, I think, the wealth knowledge. Go over the stock market game, the value of things, how things depreciate. I think those talks I'm really gonna take with me onto adulthood. Not guide me, but gave me more tools than what I had coming in with.
Most impactful would be meeting the people in power, meeting people of power. I met Verdun Perry, I met Michael Gatson. Even though he's not as high up in the world, he's still pretty up there, and he came from Cap League himself. So I believe that meeting these people would actually help inspire me to actually do better in school, as well as outside of school, and hopefully become a better person.
I think the biggest experience is probably adapting and getting comfortable doing things that you may not necessarily want to do at first, because I'll be completely honest, like many of the young men in this program, I didn't want to do this at first. I didn't like getting up on Saturdays. I didn't like going to meetings. I didn't like going to college fairs and stuff, but that stuff's important. You gotta, to get where you want to get in life, you gotta do things you don't want to do. You gotta, get out there, and you gotta work hard to play hard, pretty much. If something seems like it's too much work or you don't want to do it, then it's probably worth doing.
Maturity and with maturity with Cap League for 4 years. When I first came in, I was a goofball. I was young, but each year go by, like, you guys would give us tasks, like help us mature more, get us more focused, and always stay on top of us too. And at first we wouldn't like that. We would think that annoying, but as time go by and like as we get older and stuff, it was like it showed us like we had to stay on task, because like when we enter the real world, is nobody gonna be there to help us out, because we had to do it ourselves.
To me, Kappa League, and my husband as well, I can speak for both of us, it's been wonderful for us. I want him to take the foundation that he got from here with him to college and for the rest of his life, because this is what taught him and stretched him beyond his limits to help him to be a man.
So you guys have meant the world to me, man, and I don't say that lightly, because a lot of times Masai and Namdi, they would come home and they would, hey, how was the meeting? How was the outing today? And stuff like that. And they would tell me different things that you guys have enlightened them on that I didn't know about, So along the way, I've learned a lot too. So overall, man, you guys, man, I've told you off camera, so to speak, over the years, man, but Mr. Troy, Mr. Laguda, and all the other brothers who, their name might not be in the forefront, but they're right here at all the functions and supporting these young men too. So kudos to Kappa Alpha Psi.
Good evening. I'm Kip Jackson Polmark, or president of the Jersey City Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I'd like to welcome you to our Kappa League Gala. This one is the first time we've had to do it virtually. I hope it's our last. But of course, as you probably would know, we are beset with COVID-19, and it's changed every aspect of our lives. That being said, you gentlemen still stepped forward, and you still, chose to be mentored by the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. We brothers still step forward. The parents still very supportive as always, and we thank you for that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yakub Laguda, and I'm one of the co-directors of the program. It's truly an honor this evening to introduce this class of 2020. 2020 has been a very difficult year for most of our kids, but they got through it. This year we have 5 graduates. 4 of them have been in the program since 9th grade and 1 since 7th grade. It's truly an honor to see them come in as a young boy, now growing into a young man and going on to bigger, better things. But without further ado, our co-director Troy is going to introduce us.
Hello everyone, Troy Wilson, also one of the co-directors for the program. Once again, it's been a great pleasure having these young men around us for these few years. Hopefully the seeds that we planted will grow to future success for them. So enough of me, let's hear from the class of 2020 as they tell you where they take their talents to. Thank you.
My name is Marla Temple. I graduated from Lincoln High School, and I'm going to St. Peter's University in Jersey City. I'm going to be studying business management and finance.
My name is Johnny Tello. I graduated from William L. Dickinson, and I'm going to be going to NJCU to study chemistry, then to go into chemical engineering.
I'm Namdi Maple. I'm graduating from High Tech High School, and I'm going to New Jersey City University, and I'm majoring in graphic design.
My name is Gentry Daniel Robinson II. I graduated from Abraham Lincoln High School from New Jersey. I will be attending William Patterson of New Jersey, and I will be majoring in graphic design.
There it is. My name is Elijah Payton. I graduated from Dickinson, class of 2020, and I'm looking forward to attending UTI.
This is going to mature him up when he goes to college. He's going to look back and think of what Elvaney said. He's going to look back and think of what Mr. Troy said. He's going to look back and think of what everyone said that he didn't listen to at the time, but now he's going to take those nuggets and he's going to use them.
My boys were lucky from the standpoint of having me And I appreciate what you guys have been able to do for them. But believe it or not, more importantly, I appreciate more so what you guys have meant to those boys who haven't had their dads with them during their journey. I think a lot of these young men, they might have not necessarily gone to college if it weren't for Kappa League. And it may just be because they didn't know how to navigate those waters. They didn't have somebody pushing them. They didn't have somebody telling them that, you know what, you can do it.
So I'd just like to end by saying thank you. Thank you to all of the parents. Thank you to the advisors of the Jersey alumni of Kappa Alpha Psi. Thank you to all of our Kappa Leaguers. And of course, thank you to the Jersey City community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Join us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you once again for being a viewer to our 10th annual Jersey City Kappa League Virtual College Signing Day. And thank you for taking the time to celebrate with us the achievements of our class of 2020. Right now, I'm speaking to you from Jersey City on a very special block, Park Street. For those of you that do not know, this is where my story began, right here in that house over there. And it is here in all the years of being born and raised in this wonderful town that has inspired me, as well as inspired our chapter, to give back through our Jersey City Kappa League. Many of us share the same story. Those of us that were able to make it out, those of us that were able to become successful, and to live the future that we wanted. But we also know that there are many stories of friends and yes, even family, where their lives did not go in the same direction in which they wanted. Understanding that is the reason why we do what we do with the Jersey City Kappa League. And it's to answer this question: how many lives can we impact? How many lives can we change? If we can just take what we have and change their circumstance, even by 1 degree. And so that's the reason why I'm reaching out to you now, to make an ask. I ask each and every one of you to take this journey on with us as a donor, as an investor, but as a partner, to invest in the lives of our young men here in Jersey City. Imagine this. With your support and with the support of our donors from the past, we have been able to send close to almost 100 kids now off to 4-year colleges, a 99% graduation rate, with many of our young men doing great things now. So imagine how many more young men in this great city can we be impacting with your support. And so with that, I ask again, come join us as an investor, as a donor, as a volunteer. So right now, after watching this, please go to www.jckappaleague.com to get more information or to make a donation. It will go a long way, because just as I was able to benefit from the support of others, with your help, there are so many more kids that can benefit from the support of us. Thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank every single one of you for watching our video for the evening. This is for our Kappa Leaguers. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on each of our seniors, starting with Mr. Ajani Tello.
Hi, my name is Johnny Toll, and I'll be heading to NJCU. I have no reason.
Great job, Johnny. Next up, we have Mr. Gentry Robinson.
Hey, my name is Gentry Robinson, and I will be attending William Patterson University.
Excellent. Next, we have Mr. Namdi Maple.
Namji Maple. I'm going to be going to MJCU in the fall.
Next, we have Mr. Marlon Temple.
My name is Marlon Temple. I'll be going to St. Peter's University.
Excellent. And so I want to give, thank you very much, Marlon. And so let's see here. Come back. And so I want to give time also to give a shout out to our good senior, Elijah Payton. Elijah, wishing him well wishes, having an issue with coming on with the video and everything of that nature. But we definitely want to give absolute salute to him. I'm going to give one of our advisors a chance to say a few words if he would like to close us out. He doesn't know I'm doing this, but why not? Mr. Michael Gadsden. Mr. Gadsden, floor is yours. Hold on. Go ahead.
I'll just say, first off, congratulations to our seniors. It has been an honor. It's been a great journey working along with you for the last 3 years. I'd like to say thank you for the shout out. You know, it made me tear up a little bit. The check is in the mail, so thanks for that. But no, seriously, I would say, as mentioned in the video, I myself was a former Kappa Leaguer. You know, I sat in those very seats for 4 long years, a lot of long Saturdays that I'm sure each of these seniors can attest to, and the parents themselves. But I also say, as they did, like, the program has helped me tremendously, and the value is still reaping to this day. I still look back on lessons that I learned. There's still words for Mr. Viney that are ringing in my head that ring true today. I'm sure each and every Kappa Leaguer at some point has a good old rant that they can call upon from Mr. Viney. I got my fair share of them when I was in the program. But as I can tell you, the lessons were learned when you're in a program, but you won't reap the fruit of those until you go out into adulthood. And so I'd say, continue to think back on the times, think back on the lesson, on the Saturdays, the trips that we've taken. Yes, it may have been painful in the moment, but I assure you that you will see the value of that going forward. And I'm pretty sure I speak for myself and all the co-directors, any brother, you know, including Brother Jackson, who's always been a big supporter, always out there, never present, and other brothers of Jersey Alumni Chapter, that the support does not end here. Okay, you may have graduated from high school, you may have graduated from the program, but you always have our phone numbers. Mr. Vine's phone number has been the same number I've known since I was in high school. And I can say the same thing for myself. The fact is, we were always a one phone call away for whatever step of the journey you are taking. And so please use that network that you have built. We did not introduce you to all these brothers for no reason. We did not pour ourselves in for no reason. We did not introduce to each other for no reason. There's a network of Black men here that have done, are doing, and will do incredible things. Continue to tap into that. Continue to leverage that. Because if we want to see the world change the way we want to, we want to have the impact we want to create the world where we all work with things you guys so eloquently discussed during your video, we need to lean on each other to make that happen. So thank you for all of you who've given me. Thank you for giving me your time and giving us your time and working hard in this program. And thank you for all the great things you're going to accomplish for us in the world.
Thank you. And so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be signing off for the evening. But as you can see, a number of our Kappa Leaguers, if our leaguers, some of you guys can come, most of our guys are on, and you get a chance to see their faces. But once again, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining in and watching us this evening. And then a shout out to the parents of Ajani, Elijah, Marlon, Namdi, and Gentry. And a shout out to all of you, and a shout out to our Kappa Leaguers. Last but not least, if you go to our website, jckappaleague.com, applications and registration for our fall 2020 informational and our next class is actually online now. So once we end here, please feel free to go once again to www.jckappaleague.com. All right, everyone. Take care, leaguers. Wave, everybody. Wave. Take care and good evening and good night.